you wiped America off the map of nations. That's what Marx said. He said that the starting point of capitalism itself was, the invasion of Africa by Europe, turning Africa into a war for the hunting of black skins. This is what actually created the startup money, the capital necessary for capitalist development in Europe, And so the point is that if you understand that, then you can't look to the workers of the industrialized nations, aka white workers, to make the revolution. The revolution will be made by the colonized, exploited, colonized workers, the Africans, the Mexicans, the Arabs and whatnot, whose stolen resources and labor created the pedestal upon which all other capitalist exploitation occurs. So that's the Chairman's theory. And that transformed everything, because Lenin, Marx, and all them, they were wrong, straight up and down. When it came to critical questions, they were wrong. Even Lenin, for all he understood about the state and all that, Lenin, he was the one that said that, capitalism had become, developed to rotten right, you know what I'm saying? And, at one point, stage from one stage of development to the next. But, the chairman was saying, it became imperialism, is what Lenin said. Capitalism became imperialism. The chairman was saying that, no, capitalism emerged out of imperialism. You know what I'm saying? Capitalism emerged out of this imperialist assault on Africa, the Middle East, the so-called New World. That's what gave rise to capitalism. It was imperialist assault that gave rise to capitalism itself. You know what I'm saying?
Don't we have to distinguish between colonialism and imperialism? Because imperialism more of a more developed form, and not the capitalism. The central, how do you say, role of finance.
Well,
it takes somewhat of a different form, no?
Yeah, well, the thing about, the distinction between colonialism and imperialism is that colonialism is simply like a particular, location in which a worldwide imperialist structure exists. So you can have colonialism in Africa or in a particular part of Africa. But if you look at the history, the shit didn't go it's not like it just happened in one place. Capitalism, the parasitic capitalist system itself, it began as a worldwide economy that was hooked up. You know what I'm saying? So it was about Europeans going to Africa, stealing African people, stealing African gold and whatnot, then taking that back to Europe and taking Africans to Latin America and to the US and whatnot. It was hooked up as a worldwide process from the beginning. That's imperialism. Colonialism is just one component through which imperialism functions. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's a particular economic and political relationship. But the real point is that you can't destroy capitalism and you can't see no liberation, especially for oppressed peoples, without making a struggle for national liberation. That's the shit that's going to end this thing. It's not white workers in Europe, talking about austerity and budget cuts and all that, because that's really just a demand to reform imperialism, to find a way for it to continue to exist.
We've done this in the student movement quite a lot. We had to break out of that, because all the coalitions that did exist, and even still today do exist, we actually broke out of one organization that was right after. They was going to put him in prison for like Risk split off of that to focus on the role of national liberation and the CUNY struggle, and what does it mean to take back our schools, supposedly, right? Is it just a question of austerity, right? And so there's the whole austerity law, contrasting with the national liberation law, taking up by the Assata.
That's important.
Many people previously.
That's an important.
That's like a big split today, not only in the CUNY movement in New York City and probably in the country, but that's still one thing that people have diverged. It's the whole we need white people.
Right.
We just unite on the
Students United for Free CUNY. That's basically they holding on to their line. Kind of a white politics.
They don't want it to be, and they cover it up with a certain identitarian approach, I would say, where you don't have to be white to be part of the white left, right? You can even be part of black and brown first nationality communities and still support a white left politics that is very reductionist. That's the thing. What's the first thing that the brother said right after he saw? I didn't even want to get into it so much like that in the setting, but honestly, what's the first thing that he said? He's like, I'm not here to come talk about third world, this and that. It's always been a very Philistine reductionism of the politics of national liberation, where it's just we're caricatured, that we're just a bunch of basically the whole being smart is being light bullshit. Like you guys just want to read books all day, that doesn't have nothing to do with our people. So it's like it's been framed as one or the other. You're either practical or you're ideological.
This is Penny Hess, chairwoman of the African People's Solidarity Committee. I live in America for The existence of the Solidarity Committee is one of the major manifestations of African internationalism in terms of correctly identifying what the relationship that white people should have with the struggle, the anti-colonial struggle for African liberation.